an interesting idea that I'm actually quite baffled by and surprised by, is that when I actually talk about things that are legitimate and sort of valid with on social media, that actually is really good, solid advice. Nobody pays attention to any of that stuff. However, if I put in the negation, or if I talk about things in a negative way, it gets a tremendous response to it. So, one thing I've been sort of posting on TikTok is like not to do a PhD, and it's amazing how many people actually respond to that. But then if I say the opposite, and I say, hey, these are the great reasons to do a PhD, then very few people actually respond to it. And I've seen the same phenomenon happen on YouTube. And, there's powerful effects with thinking about negation, or thinking about, just phrasing things in a way that is negative. And I know that this is one of the things I really don't like about social media, is the sort of power of that, and the sort of negativity of it all, because it does get a tremendous amount of response. But here's the thing, is that if you don't do that, you actually don't grow on social media. You don't get attention. You don't get the sort of focus. So it's kind of a bit of a nasty spiral that I've learned. And, as somebody that's providing this stuff and being open, it's really not kind of fun on the opposite side, because you have to sort of play that game, and then you become kind of a little bit more of a negative person because you're sort of focusing on these negative things. And so I don't know what the answer is for this, because that is like the human nature response, right? So these programs, these platforms are sort of responding to how human beings actually respond to things. And it's not like, they're not responding to, and it's not, so it's more of like a collection of human beings, right? It's not one individual. And so what you're going to get is, let's say you put out something positive, very little people are going to respond to that, right? And if you put out something negative, there will be 2% of the population responding to it. And if that happens, then they're likely to put comments down and things like that. And then that drives a vicious cycle of the sort of negativity of it. And I want people to sort of understand this, that it's the challenge of it is not necessarily dealing with one people. It's dealing to many people, or thinking about how you actually can respond to many people and deal with that kind of stuff. And I think this is going to become an increasingly important part. I know it's already an important part of culture right now, but I think it's going to become more increasingly important. We have to figure out how to navigate that and deal with that in terms of, how do you promote and make people happy with getting their attention. And there's this like trade-off, right? And what I'm kind of trying to experiment now with is the right combination of sort of being cheerful and happy and stuff publicly on that, but also, getting the negative stuff out there, because then that sort of drives the attention. I know that's like ridiculous, being able to do that, but that's the pattern, right? And so what I'm thinking about doing is trying to do maybe 2 to 3 like positive things and 1 negative thing. And if you look at when I started to get more traction on it, it sort of moved from just being, more chippy and encouraging and things like that, and started doing some negative things. And, I have to balance it and figure it out. And make sure that people are just, the soundbite works. The negative soundbite really works. And we have to figure out how to combat that and come back to it where you can be a decent, normal human being. And encourage other people to be decent, normal human beings. I don't quite know how to do that just yet. And I'm figuring it out. So this is a whole new world to live within and to be open about. But I think that's the important thing, is just continue to experiment with this stuff, to figure out how to get, people just being nicer and kinder. And I think that's the important thing going forward. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.